So yeah, let's just have a quick look at the markets. Let's do a little bit of a market roundup and talk about what we're looking at in terms of the dollar and you know in terms of some kind of positions and what we really kind of want to be looking at in terms of maybe even potentially some long-term swing positions on the dollar. Now I kind of feel like you'll notice a lot of the time I manage to kind of call these tops and these bottoms, these good pivot points, and I feel like we might have reached a pivot point at the moment, and it's kind of solely based on USD, JPY, and also some or from what we're seeing in the markets at this moment in time. Now, obviously, USDJPY has kind of reached this bottom, and it was perfectly timed with Trump talking about de-escalating his trade war with China slightly, and his kind of feud with the Fed. So I feel like this is a key level at the moment. Obviously, it's a key level on the daily, and I think we're going to get some relief on the dollar, which we haven't had so far. Now, if USDJPY goes up, it means CAD JPY is going to go up as well, followed by kind of like Australian dollar JPY and New Zealand JPY. So I think really this is good for good for a swing position if it's something that you just want to kind of look into and hold. I mean, that is a huge stop. I'd like to really see us come down a little bit more and just hold something like this. Just really hold on to it for as long as we can. I don't think this relief rally is going to go all the way back up personally. As I say, I want to try and get into this as close as the bottom as possible, get into this swing as close as possible here. I don't think it's going to be a major relief rally. If we look at the Dixie, it's definitely due relief. This is, although we're down today, we were up kind of following Trump's or the White House announcement, whoever announced it yesterday. But we definitely need to test. Some kind of area, which really looking at it, we're going to be looking to at least test here. But as I say, I kind of think that we might have bottomed out a little bit here. Obviously, a big rally from stocks today for this reason as well. So yeah, let's just have a look at Euro USD. We'll start with Great British Pound USD. Actually, we've reached this top here, which is kind of the top of the range, and now we're starting to see the signs of the pound cracking. Obviously, this big bearish move to the downside, and when we kind of moved down here, you could see that this was more a consolidation than there was really any bearish sentiment. Obviously, a bit of bearish sentiment here, but then we just move straight to the upside. Whereas we're starting to see flags now, big, large engulfing candles and stuff. So I really think that we might have topped out on this. Now, if you're a swing trader, you can obviously look to put a stop loss above this area of invalidation here. We can be looking for potential entries a little bit higher up as well. Euro USD, it seems like we're going to have to come and test some level of market structure, which kind of seems to be maybe around this area here, but we've definitely got a way down to go on this. Obviously a nice bearish flag this morning and kind of higher time frame trendline break, but what we are starting to see form is obviously the market structure is now shifting, and we're starting to see a head and shoulders form on this kind of we're starting to see a head and shoulders form on this higher time frame on the 4 hours. So we can be looking for, I know although these are kind of like large stops, which we all don't really like, potentially placing stops above this area of invalidation here, whilst we start looking to make a move down. And we can get some really nice swings here where we kind of just DCA into them along the way, realistically. Some big money on the table. Some very, very big money on the table here. So, yeah, definitely something to take into account in terms of like Euro USD. I'm going to be entering a swing myself. Now this brings us to EuroCAD and Great British Pound CAD. Now, sorry, these are just areas of market structure that have been marked out. Now, what we are starting to see here is we're starting to see a really quite big head and shoulders form on EuroCAD as well. We've got an area in terms of a bit of a shorter trade, a swing trade, just a day trade here, where price has really been struggling with this level. This is on the 1 hour, but this has been very key on the 4 hour. And obviously bearish sentiment following this kind of trend line break today, and now we're working in this kind of bearish consolidation, this bearish flag. So if we look to break this key level, I'm going to be looking for a short entry on this, potentially maybe 2 positions, 1 hold and 1 just kind of take profit soon, take profit off the table sooner rather than later, just in case the market does reverse. Same with Great British Pound CAD, so big higher time frame trend line break, managed to take some money off the table on this morning, and I've replaced an order at this level in case we tap it today, and I really think that we're going to be testing this level of market structure down here. If we do, I'm going to look for a strong break and a retest of this level to be able to get into a nice swing trade on this. Obviously that will have been a head and shoulders that have formed, and you can be looking to take profit really around like here and here, here for this. This is kind of the key level of market structure that I think that we're working off, so it's really up to you, but we can definitely see this forming. This pair is very respective of market structure, higher time frame market structure, and really trades well with head and shoulders. So some big money to be made here, I think, and this kind of ties in with Great British Pound USD and Euro USD falling down. So we'll also look at USDCHF, trying to get a position on this morning, although I've not managed to get it so far. Big position called on this, called one of the tops on my last videos, before we made this huge move down to the downside, and then we've just been kind of trending down since that point. So we're definitely due a relief rally with USDCHF, and the other Swiss franc pairs will go with it as well. Obviously, the more confidence in the market, the more money will move out of the safe havens and kind of into the dollar and things that are higher risk plays. So such as stocks and crypto, etc. So definitely looking at a position on this. Would love to be able to get a swing position, buy and hold, just kind of waiting for some form of entry on this. Now we've obviously got like quite a strong 4 hour level here, so we could just potentially be looking at a small break and retest of this level for a potential swing, something like this here, something kind of like this, 30 pips where you just look to hold and trim profits where you can, but very interested in USDCHF for a swing. Now that kind of brings me to Euro AUD. Obviously the Australian dollar's been a bit of taking a battering due to the trade war with China, and also the euro being really strong, but it seems that we may have topped out here. Now the last time we kind of reached these levels was 2022. If the recession scare starts to come in, I think we'll get it, but we've definitely got a bit of a relief on this for the moment. Euro NZD, you can see had fully topped out from its 2020 position, so we're definitely due some downside on this. Now this is a little bit of a harder position to be able to take. Obviously we've got this very weak trend line propping it up at the moment, and some of this kind of key market structure that I was hoping was going to break for some buys, but didn't actually break, so definitely looking for sells now on this, considering the selling we're looking for on the other pairs. Probably this area of market structure, just to be able to get into a position where we take out this liquidity. Same on Euro AUD, as I say, very, very weak at this moment in time. Great British Pound AUD is going to obviously go with it, as the pairs are very, very coupled. Very, very weak trend line at this moment in time that we have been repeatedly testing, and I think that we're going to be looking for a short in terms of this position here, and that's where the swing short is going to be just above that area of liquidity there. So maybe a 30 pip stop up, something along those lines, but definitely an entry here. And then, yeah, the only issue that we are technically facing is we've been trending up on Great British Pound New Zealand dollar for over 12 months now, and this trend line's been really highly respected, although it's being tested a lot now, and we're starting to consolidate around it, which is a good indication that we might break it and go down. If we break it and go down, definitely going to be looking for a short on this, and a swing hold short. So, good stuff. A lot of big positions I think we're going to get, and that are going to be looking for relatively soon, and they're just kind of going to be hold plays. Trim profits and hold if you can, for as long as you can. So there's a lot going on at this particular moment in time, and I really want to be able to capitalise on this. So yeah, any questions, guys, just drop them in the comments or drop them in the Discord. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, or to the YouTube page. The engagement really helps, and yeah, speak to you soon, and we'll see how this starts to play out.